Alrighty, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. Tammy Talks here. Let's go ahead and get into episode 7 of Love is Blind, season 2. If you're brand new to my channel, I do breakdowns on various TV shows, interjecting my own thoughts, opinions, and theory into each and every episode. My own thoughts, opinions, and theories into each and every episode. So if you do enjoy this type of content, go ahead, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. I'm trying to get out the Love is Blind recaps as quick as I can, but I am going out tonight, so the rest might not be up until tomorrow, but we'll see what we can get done tonight. So hit the notification bell so you are notified of each and every upload. And it happens to the comment section, y'all. Let's talk about what's going on this season so far. I know it's kind of hard for some of you that do like binge watch to try to like compartmentalize each and every episode, but try your hardest not to like spoil it for others that do watch kind of episode by episode. So this starts off with Sal going to talk to Jared. They're at the beach still, and he is telling Jared how him and Mallory have been having some like little arguments. They're not really seeing eye to eye on a couple of things, nothing too serious. Meanwhile, Jared is like, oh, word, because me and Ayana are doing great. Like, we haven't had any issues at all. I don't know why Sal would even tell him that. And then Jared tells Sal some advice that his dad told him was never go to sleep angry, which is advice that everybody should use in no matter what type of relationship it is, whether with your mate, your partner, or a friend, or a sibling. The worst thing you can do is go to sleep angry. You should always go to sleep with like a very clear mind, an open heart, because you just sleep better at the end of the night. So Sal brings up the comment about the ring not being gold. He said he did not appreciate Jared bringing it up, and he feels that it also made Mallory feel away. Jared said he was just joking about it. It wasn't on some type like, I'm gonna buy you this type of ring. Jared, that was actually the energy you were giving, but whatever. So Jared said that he's okay with the decision she made. She picked Sal. She felt their connection was stronger. He is okay with that. He respects that because he likes what he has with Ayana. He's very happy with his situation. He's happy. He hopes that she's happy and that he's happy so that everybody can be happy, and he's happy for them. He's good with what he has. So I'm gonna rock with you, Jared, and I'm gonna take your word for it. So to stay with Jared and Ayana, she goes to meet his parents. So with his dad and his stepmother, he tells them that he is engaged. They are just overwhelmed with emotion. It was so beautiful to see. His stepmother was like super excited for them. She's crying. You can see the pride all across his dad's face, but they didn't know about the show. So, Jared explains that he had no idea what she looked like. He didn't want to know. He didn't ask any of those like probing questions because he really wanted to get to know her personality, her spirit, tap into her emotions before making the next big leap and finding out what she looked like. And his father loved that. He said, because one of the best things you can do to connect with someone is get to know their personality, right? And then it kind of makes their physical easier to make them more, I guess you could say it makes it easier to digest, right? His father is a pastor, and he said he has not done any weddings yet. People have asked him to marry them, and he has said no because he always felt that the first wedding he should do should be his oldest son, Jared. So he asked if he can do that, and they agree. They think it's great. Ayana says she feels closer to him now than she did before because just the love and pride that was on both him and his parents' side makes her felt really, really welcome into the family. So, but she knows it'll be different with her family. So she's like super nervous about that because she knows that her parents are it'll be a little more tense and stressful. Later, we see Ayana and Jared, and they're hanging out at the shared apartment. And they're talking about their wedding day. He said he's going to be wearing Jordans at his. She wants a matching pair to wear under her dress at the reception. Very, very common. at my brother's reception a couple of years ago, we all changed in the entire wedding party, and then like close friends and stuff. We all changed into Jordans at the reception. So like I had on my J's underneath my bridesmaid's dress. His wife had on Jordans. You know, as many people as could. My dad, my 68-year-old dad, had a pair of Jordans for the wedding, which was so like just amazing to see. The pictures came out great. I like when people do fun stuff at their weddings. I've seen people like all the groomsmen changing to like superhero t-shirts or different things like that. So it was always fun. So she's been a good sport with that. He's playing video games. He's clearly on a headset talking to someone or talking to like a teammate or whatever about it, and she's asking him questions about the wedding. Now, ladies, I don't know why we do this. You see he's doing something. You see that he is not able to give you his full attention because he's playing the video games. Now, we don't know what came first, chicken or the egg, video games or the conversation. But it's also like, why are you trying to have this serious conversation with him about the wedding while he's doing this? He's distracted. He's not listening. So then when he gets done and you have the full attention of him to talk about stuff for the wedding, you ask him what he's doing tonight. He said he was going to Persona for Taco Tuesday. She was like, it's Tuesday. Look, you're marrying an introvert, girl. There needs to be a conversation, not with us in the confessional, but with him about what you expect out of him, how many times you're okay with him going out, etc., etc. You could have went out, but you said you want to just sit at home and binge watch TV shows and read. So it's like, if you're going to date an extrovert, you can't be upset that they are an extrovert. And if you're going to date an introvert, you can't be upset that they are an introvert. I feel like you have to learn to meet people halfway. And I just don't know. I think what's going to be the demise of them, if they work, if they don't, is going to be the fact that she does not like how extroverted he is. I think she doesn't necessarily trust him, and because of that, she's going to assume that every time he goes out, oh, maybe he's out talking to another woman. Oh, maybe he's out, maybe Mallory's there. That's what's going to be I think, one of the bigger things, and I hope she doesn't keep bringing up this Mallory situation, and I hope she doesn't harp on this. If you didn't want him to go out, you should have said something. That's basically how that goes. On top of that, Jared, did you invite her? Or was it just like, I'm going out? So that was kind of a mess, y'all, on both parts. Not just on one or the other, on both parts. So next up, let's do Shane and Natalie. So Natalie asked Shane back on the beach, what did Shayna say? He said everything. He was like, she said that, a relationship is fake, and she was kind of, coming at you, throwing you under the bus. But what I didn't like is Shane started questioning Natalie. So is there something I'm missing? Shane, go to hell. Go to hell. You haven't been questioning Natalie before then, but now you want to question Shayna because now y'all have finally seen each other and y'all like what y'all see, basically. Don't do that. Natalie says she's not threatened by Shayna. She thinks Shayna is just jealous, one, because she got with Shane, Ivy. And then she thinks, too, that things are just going rough with Kyle, and that's why she's acting this way. I didn't like it. I thought it was kind of annoying. It irritated me, especially, that Shane would even try to flip it up on Natalie. You can't see that this heifer's trying to break y'all up? Okay. So then, later, they are, sitting at the table, and Natalie feels like the old her would be judging her for like how lovey-dovey she's being. I said, girl, are you being lovey-dovey? Shane says you ain't. So they're doing wedding planning. Shane wants a fountain that makes old fashions. Those are his, excuse me, that's one of his requests for the wedding. An old-fashioned fountain, okay? He also wants cheese curds. And she was like, cheese curds? Is that what we're going to give him? He said, well, let's have a whole kids buffet. I said, I know. Oh, I know, Shane. I know you ain't saying what I think you about to say, sir. He wants to have a kids buffet with pizza, hot dogs, mac and cheese, and cheese curds. He said because tenderloin is risky. Are you 12? This is not a 12-year-old party. This is not a 12-year-old birthday party. This is not a 13-year-old sleepover. What? What? So she said, well, not only is my family lactose, okay, but they don't drink. He said, all y'all do in Wisconsin is drink. Okay, so I'm from Wisconsin. I think I've mentioned that before. I do live in Wisconsin. Yeah, we drink. You know, we enjoy it. We drink. I'm not even gonna lie about it. We drink, but I was still kind of like, don't say it like that, Shane. Don't say it like that. Listen. He said he wants to have the fountain in honor of his dad, who really liked old fashions, who passed away a couple of months ago. I feel like there can be a compromise with this. We don't need to have a fountain of old fashions, okay? I think one thing that they can do is, why not have a signature drink where everybody can go up to the bar and the bartenders are making old fashions all night. I think something like that is a little better suited than having an old fashioned fountain. But I guess she's going to think about it, or at least act like she's thinking about it. And then finally with Shane and Natalie, so she's going to introduce him to her parents finally. Her parents don't know that she was on the show. Her parents don't know that she met somebody. They don't know that she is now engaged. So she tells him, why don't you go pick up dinner, flowers for my mom. I'll explain to them what's going on, and then you can come in and you can meet them. So she goes home. She's rushed cleaning up. And this is what her parents was playing in everybody's face, right? So her parents get there, and they're like, oh, whose apartment is this? And she said, oh, this is mine. I moved. And they're like, oh, okay. They're looking at the view, gorgeous view of the Chicago skyline. And she's telling them she was on a show. She met a guy. They got engaged or getting married in 2 weeks. Her mother was over it. Like, her father was just kind of on some, I want to spaz out, but my wife is doing it enough for the both of us. Meanwhile, her mother is like, what is going on? Because it sounds dumb, right? It sounds dumb. So she's trying to explain to her parents that, like, she's ready for this. She did this for a reason. If she wasn't ready, she wouldn't have signed up for it, and all this type of stuff. Her parents don't sit there and act like they don't see these cameras, because this wasn't just a camera that was mounted and set up. This has to be a camera crew. She has on a battery pack. So we're not going to act like y'all don't see the cameras and y'all don't know y'all are on the show. Her mother is not pleased. She said that she can see the disdain in her mother's broken heart just by looking at her. And then she wonders if she's going to have to pick between Shane or her parents. You don't have to pick, girl, because Shane is going to leave you for Shayna. This is not going to work with y'all. You don't give him enough positive information. And I don't even think Natalie is really that attracted to him. I think now she just sees him as good eye candy and a good arm piece for her. I don't think she's really attracted to him the way that she's trying to portray herself to be. So let's do Danielle and Nick. If this show came on weekly, I would be doing breakdowns like I do for Married at First Sight, because it is so much to talk about with each couple. Danielle and Nick, I can talk about for the entire video because of the foolishness that goes on with them. But they go over to Nick's condo. She's worried about how neat he is because she's messy. Of course you are. You look like you're messy. So his apartment is extremely neat. You know, everything is in its correct place. Everything is just, you can tell that he's very, very detailed with stuff. He said all his CDs and DVDs are alphabetical. He doesn't want them to, they're alphabetical, and he doesn't want them to not be, because then it creates trauma for him, whatever. So she says she wants to bring her video games over, okay? She plays Rock Band, Guitar Hero, all that type of stuff that we did back in the 2000s when it first came out. So he tells her, well, sure, we can put it in the closet. And she's like, well, I like to have it out. And he said, oh, girl, we are not 15. It is not going to just be sitting out. Not in this adult living room. And I know that's right, Nick. Like, girl, I have a PlayStation. I have a Nintendo Switch. They are tucked up and tucked away. When I choose to play something, which I don't know the last time I've turned either one on. But when I choose to play something, it's not just sitting out for display. And the nerve for you to have a whole rock band, nobody's going to have a toy drum set sitting in their living room at your age. I need to see what their ages are because Nick makes a comment and said that, there is definitely an age difference and it's a little concerning. So we go to meet Nick's family. So his mother and his two sisters, and he is actually worried about how his mother is going to act. He said his mother is not one that warms up to people right away. Unfortunately, it takes her a little bit of time. So they get there, and Danielle keeps saying how nervous she is, and she gets to drink a wine, and she gulps it, and his mother will say, okay, everybody's nervous. And I said, this is gonna be a mess. So his sisters ask her, like, why is she nervous, whatever. Nick chimes in and said that she's always nervous. She's always overly nervous. She said that she's a big old ball of anxiety, and everybody's looking at her like, okay. Danielle, you don't want to lead with that. There's nothing. Some people suffer from anxiety. It's not a bad thing by any means. I don't want it to seem as if I'm saying it's a bad thing, but it's also like, girl, like, don't lead with that first. Because people that are not educated about it, or just in general, people always kind of look and think you're gonna, you're gonna be on the edge all the time. So she says she wants to do the process because she's very insecure. She lost about 60 or 70 pounds. And she's still like very insecure with meeting people. So talking through the wall was really just more comfortable for her. But she's just worried if the people that she would date would actually like her for her. So talking through the wall, they were able to have the more emotional connection. She said it was easier to find out what they wanted in life. They were able to talk about kids and marriage and stuff like that on a second and third date because that's pretty typical for the pods. So for her, that's why things went a little easier and a little smoother for her. Danielle said that, even though they've had some terrible times, and the mother said, what? Y'all been together 2 weeks. How do y'all have terrible times already? And his mother is rightfully concerned about that because y'all don't have some blow-ups. Nick said that they would have small issues that would escalate to bigger issues that would turn into different issues And it's like, yeah, because Danielle is fucking crazy. I'm not saying Nick is innocent by any means, but Danielle is, everything ain't going on up there. So his sister was like, how are you going to deal with him taking showers twice a day? Nick gets almost embarrassed and was like, I don't do that. There's nothing wrong with showering, Nick. Don't let anybody think that. If you take 2 showers a day, you say that shit with pride. Because we have seen too many dirty, musty people on TV, mainly married at first sight, that don't want to bathe, don't want to get their ass in the tub. So you stand in that, Nick. If you take 2 showers a day, more power to you. We are all with you, okay? People that shower every day, put a fist up. So he said, I guess Nick is very OCD about hygiene, which explains why his house is so meticulous. So they said that, that's just something that they're going to get ready for. His sisters are asking him, how are you suddenly ready for marriage? Apparently, Nick has been in numerous long-term relationships, never been able to fully commit. So they're kind of questioning that about Nick. He looks nervous. There's something about Nick that is odd to me. I can't quite put my finger on it, but something about him just don't quite curl all the way over for me. So then finally Nick goes to see Danielle's apartment. It's not bad, and not as bad as I thought it was going to be. But we do see, like, she got just a bunch of random things. She has, like, balloon instruments. She said, because her friends do rock band, and they like to have fun. She's showing how one of her friends got on the table, and the table broke. I said, I know you're not okay with that, Danielle. So she has a lot of closets. There, like she has a lot of clothes. She also has costumes. So she comes out and she puts on this damn hot dog costume. Has Nick put on a ear of corn costume, and that's how they're sitting and talking. I want it to be done. I want it to be done with the episode, y'all. So they're talking, and she's saying that he's asking her, "Why do you have these?" I guess she's one of those people that when Instagram, suggests the ad to you, she buys it. She said that she likes to host. So she'll have people over for a party and she'll just put on a costume and that's how she'll answer the door. I just, what is going on? What is going on? I can't. So he's like concerned at the fact that her friends like get up on the table and stuff. And she's just saying how they have fun together. Her friends like to have fun. They don't plan to break anything, but sometimes it happens. And Nick was like, well, that's not going to happen at our house. Nick is basically saying there's no excuse for your friends to get up on the table. And there is no excuse for your friends to get up on the table. And he said that it's a maturity thing. Now he's all hot and bothered and sweaty and he needs to step away. And she's just sitting there looking at him like she doesn't understand where the conversation took a turn. Danielle, sweetie, I don't think you were ready for this. I do not think Danielle was ready for this show. Deeps and Shake. So Deeps goes to meet his parents. And he tells his mom, like, they have a good conversation sitting outside. They're talking, the typical, it's an emotional connection type of conversation. And Shake is talking to his mother, and he says that, she's perfect, but he just doesn't have that animalistic attraction to her that he has had with other women. His mother said, yeah, but you've had that with other women, and you didn't like anything else about them. And his mother, like, cracks his face and said, look, she's a wonderful girl. She's a pretty girl. She seems great. Do not waste her time, basically. His mother was on something. Don't waste this girl's time. If you're not going to be all in with her, then don't do it because she can go out and she can find her somebody else and she deserves to find somebody that truly likes her and isn't going to give her anything less than she deserves. They go to look at Shake's apartment later or condo. One, he was driving way too fast in that car. Don't be in the car with me and go 90 bobbing and weaving. Play with your Tesla on your own time. That's not safe. And in Chicago, too. I live in Milwaukee, so I'm in Chicago a lot. They drive fast in Chicago, but let's not do 90 just for the sake of it. That's not necessary. So she likes his apartment. He has a nice apartment. It looks like a very stale male apartment. He has like black everything. Like he had a gray comforter. And she just kind of tells him that he needs more pops of color, but she can see herself building a family with him there. She still lives at home, so she's excited to get out of her parents' house. He plans on still living in the city. And he said because, he's get ready to open this office. And she's wondering why he would want to, she's kind of wondering why he would even want to live in the city and raise a family. And this girl, because he don't plan on marrying you. That's why. He does not plan on marrying you, Deeps, because he don't really see it for you. So then we have finally, did I go through everybody? No, finally Sal and Mallory. So Mallory goes to Sal's house so she can see how he lives and meet his roommate. Him and his roommate sing this like beautiful song. I was sitting like Mallory, like, oh my God, this is beautiful. So she said that he's different than most men that she has been with because he's very in tune with his emotion. He's very open with his emotions. And after the song, she is more in love with him than she was before. Sal goes to meet her sister, Tiffany, who asked Sal all the pertinent questions, but it's also like fall back a little bit. So her sister was asking about his relationship history. Mallory has been in a relationship for 6 years. His longest is 2.5, and she feels that's not that long. But I would rather hear that someone has been in a relationship with 2.5 and decided that it didn't work than hear somebody was in a relationship for 6 years and never got married and then decided that it wasn't going to work. So I don't like how some people view like the length of time you're in a relationship. I don't think because someone has been in a relationship for 6 years that they're any more ready for marriage than somebody that has been in one for 2.5, if that makes sense. I mean, both of them ended. They both didn't work out, so. But her sister is questioning if they're really serious, how genuine they are. She kind of gets on Sal and it's like, what do you bring it to the table? She's educated. She got her own, like she has her own house. She has her, like doing all of this. And Sal was like, well, I work in tourism. First and foremost, Sal is educated because he said that he met his friend in college. And basically, it doesn't seem like her sister is like really all for it, is really in tune with it. And when Sal asked for her blessing, she was like, she can't really do that off of like this brief conversation here. And I said, damn. But then Sal says in his confessional, me and Mallory are doing this for us. And if your sister wants to show up, great. If she does not show up, that's something that he can't control, but he hopes she comes. But it's basically up to her and it's her opinion. I said, wow. It's getting good, y'all. It's getting good. So this has been episode 7, season 2. Let me know how you guys felt about anything talked about in the video. Just in the video. And I will catch you guys in the next one.